Buying a home right now is not easy. Rates have gone up, inventory is still extremely tight, and the competition, depending on where you're shopping, can get crazy extremely fast. So the big question that I am getting every single day from buyers all the time is this: how do I make sure that I am not overpaying for a house? And it is a very fair question, because nobody wants to find out 6 months later that they could have paid less, or that they jumped too fast into something that was completely overpriced. So in this video, I'm going to break down how to avoid overpaying for a home, what to look for, what to ignore, and how to read the market like a pro. I will also share a few real world examples from right here on Long Island that'll give you a real clear perspective on how to spot a deal before everybody else catches on. Okay, so let's start off with step number one, okay, which is going to be to understand the market that you're shopping in. Okay, this is going to be the foundation. Every single neighborhood on Long Island has its own rhythm. Okay, what looks like overpaying in one area might actually be a complete steal in another area. So, for example, let's take a $750,000 colonial in Massapequa. That may sound high compared to a similar sized home in West Babylon, but Massapequa homes tend to have lower turnover and stronger resale demand because of proximity to the parkways and to the water. Same square footage, different market dynamics. So before you ever start making offers, you really have got to study the local comps. Get an understanding of the pricing in the neighborhood. Look at what homes are actually selling for, not what sellers are merely asking for. So one thing I always tell my clients, the listing price is simply a marketing tool. The real story is always going to be in the sold data. So what similar homes in that zip code actually closed for in the last 60 to 90 days. That is what is always going to be what your baseline is for what a fair price truly looks like. Step number two, don't let list price anchoring trick you. This one is something that is very subtle, but it gets a lot of buyers. So you see a home listed for $699,000. It looks beautiful, it looks well staged and move-in ready, and you think this is the going rate. But then you dig deeper and you realize that every similar home nearby closed for around $630,000 or $640,000. That means the seller's testing the market, seeing if someone bites emotionally instead of logically. So in places like Levittown, Plainview, and Wantagh, I see this all the time. Homes listed 40, 50K above where they'll actually sell. If you don't know the local market, it's easy to get caught up in the price tag instead of the value. So here's what you do. Ask your agent to pull what's called a range analysis. That means seeing both the highs and the lows for similar properties. If the house you like is on the extreme high end of that range, then you better make sure that it is something that is justified by updates, location, or the size of the lot. Step number three is going to be to look past cosmetic stuff. A lot of buyers overpay because they get emotionally attached to the finishes. So you walk into a freshly renovated kitchen in a place such as East Meadow, you see quartz counters, shaker cabinets, perfect lighting, and it feels like it's worth more. But here's the truth. Most of those cosmetic upgrades don't add dollar for dollar value. They are going to make a house sell faster, but not necessarily higher. So when you're comparing homes, ask yourself, am I paying for actual structural improvements or just for the aesthetics. A new roof, updated HVAC, or upgraded electrical system has real long-term value, but that $30,000 kitchen facelift might only add 10 to 15K to the home's appraisal value. If you can look past the staging and focus on the bones of the house, that's how you start to spot true value. Step number 4 is going to get a pre-offer market snapshot. So before you write an offer, your agent should run a side-by-side analysis for you. Think of it as a mini CMA. For those of you that don't know, that is a comparative market analysis. So let's say you're looking at a split level home in Seaford, New York, listed for $699,000. Okay, the comps show 3 similar homes that sold in the last 60 days, one at $665K, one at $672K, and another at $705K with a finished basement and updated bathrooms. Now, if the home you're interested in looks like those mid 660s properties, but it lacks updates, why would you offer $699K? You can confidently go in lower knowing that you've got the data to back it up. So that is what the power of walking in informed is. You're negotiating from logic, data, statistics, and not emotion. Step number 5 is going to be don't fall for the bidding war panic. Here's where a lot of buyers lose control. A home hits the market Friday, and by Sunday, the listing agent says, "We've got multiple offers." And suddenly you feel that sense of fear of missing out. You feel like you're in an auction. The temptation in this moment is going to be to throw out your best number immediately, but that's where a lot of people end up overpaying. So here is what I always tell and advise my clients. When there is a situation when we are in a bidding war, your goal isn't to win the house, it's to win it at the right price. So if the home is worth $650,000 and you end up paying $700,000 just to beat someone else, you didn't win, you just ended up outbidding yourself. So if you're ever unsure, ask your real estate agent to show you the highest recent comparable sale and use that as your emotional reset button. I never advise my clients to pay a ridiculous price that is not justified. This happens a lot in West Islip, Lindenhurst, and Merrick, where inventory moves very fast and you need to stay disciplined and not get too caught up emotionally because you can end up spending way too much. Step number 6 is going to be remember that value isn't just price, it's position. So when you're buying a home, value is more than just the number that's on the contract. It's going to be location, it's going to be resale potential, and it's also going to be livability. So for example, a 600K home in Bethpage on a quiet side street near the Parkway entrance might hold better value than a 570K home that backs up to a busy road. The difference is subtle, but it is something that matters over time. So when you're thinking long term, always ask yourself, how easy would this home be to resell? Because avoiding overpaying isn't just about the purchase price, it's about making sure that your investment keeps its value down the line for the long term. Because what we want in the big picture is equity. Step number 7 is going to have a walkaway number and actually stick to it. This is the hardest part because it's what separates smart buyers from emotional ones. So before you make any offer, decide on your absolute ceiling. That's your number where if the seller counts us higher, you walk away and you are actually willing to walk away from the deal. So write it down, tell your agent, and commit to it. And your agent should be helping you to get the data to come up with the right number. Because once you go above that line, you're not buying value, you're buying comfort, and that's where regret is going to start to creep in. I've seen clients in places like Baldwin and Oceanside win beautiful homes by sticking to their strategy, even when they lost a few along the way. They waited for the right fit, and when it hit, it all lined up perfectly. So here's the big takeaway, and I really want you to take this in because it's something that is very powerful. You can't control the market, but what you can control is how you move through it. So when you buy with patience, data, and confidence, you won't overpay. You will be somebody who is buying smart. The people who overpay are usually reacting to fear or pressure. The people who win are the ones who stay strategic and stay calm. And that is exactly what I want for you. So if you are somebody who found this video helpful today, don't stop here. Click the video on your screen right over here to join my free webinar called From Hesitant to Homeowner, How Smart Buyers Win in Any Market. If you're somebody who's been on the sidelines, you've been thinking about buying a home, you're waiting for that perfect moment to buy a home, this webinar right here will show you why the right strategy matters more than timing. Click that video right now, right there, and I'll see you inside the webinar. Take care.